morning and thank you for joining us. You are watching the news on African Free Press Television. My name is Bridget Okuduli with the news updates. Nigeria's major opposition party, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Tuesday, February 16, 2016, named the former Borno State Governor Ali Modu Sheriff as its national chairman. Addressing journalists at the Abuja's Wadata Plaza Secretariat of the party, the spokesperson for PDP, AlisonMadueke, said all organs of the party, including the National Caucus PDP Governors Forum and the National Assembly caucuses, agreed on the choice of Mr. Sheriff, who is also a former senator. Mr. Metu said the decision would be communicated to the Board of Trustees and subsequently the National Executive Committee (NEC) for ratification before a formal announcement would be made. The PDP was defeated only in May 2015 after holding power for 16 years. Mr. Sheriff is replacing Ahmadu Muazu, the former chairman who resigned shortly after the 2015 general elections. The Nigerian Senate has directed the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) to immediately suspend the February 1, 2016 tariff hikes, which are estimated to be upwards of 40%. The resolution was passed yesterday, February 17, 2016, sequel to a motion moved by Suleiman Nazif, APC Bauchi. Reporting the development on his Facebook page, the Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki noted that the move is necessary because any increase in cost without the necessary improvements in service delivery by the power companies is unacceptable. The statement further read, the power distribution companies must work to ensure that every establishment in Nigeria is provided with capabilities for metered billing. Doing this would end the sharp practice of arbitrary billing, which estimates the power consumption of Nigerians in the generation of their monthly bills. Suspected Boko Haram members have killed 6 persons in Kuda village of Madagali local government area of Adamawa State. The insurgents allegedly razed more than 20 houses in the attack. An aged woman was also allegedly burnt to ashes in the raging inferno. It was learned that the insurgents invaded the village at 9 p.m. on Monday when the villagers were preparing to go to bed. It was learned that they shot at fleeing villagers, thus killing 5 persons and injuring several others. According to eyewitnesses, the heavily armed insurgents invaded the village on foot and carted away some valuables. Confirming the incident, the head of Krijinga Abubakar Kanuri, whose village is close to Kuda village, said the insurgents came through Malakwaya, a section of the Sambisa forest. He said the report he got was that over 30 armed insurgents stormed Kuda village. The village head, however, said he had yet to learn the exact casualty figure. The United Nations has released $58 million to assist 2.4 million people affected by Boko Haram related violence in 2015. A document made available to the news agency of Nigeria by an official of the Public Information in the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Kate Pond, said the UN Central Emergency Response Fund (CEF) allocated the said amount from March 2015 to February 4, 2016. The document also explained that CEF was one of the fastest and most effective ways to support rapid humanitarian response for people affected by natural disasters and armed conflicts. It said the funding support, which is managed by the UN OCHA, receives voluntary contributions all year round from UN member states and observers, regional governments, private sector foundations, and individuals. The Tinkan Island Command of the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has intercepted a 40-feet container with 980 rounds of 9mm type live ammunition and a pistol imported into the country from the U.S. The spokesperson of the command, Chris Osankwo, made the disclosure in a statement on Tuesday in Lagos. According to the statement, the area controller of the command, Bashar Yusuf, said the seizure included camouflage military face cap, camouflage belt, a pair of hand gloves and a pair of shoes were concealed along with other personal effects in 2 vehicles. Mr. Yusuf said the arms and ammunition and a suspect who was arrested in connection with the seizure had been handed over to the State Security Service (SSS) for further investigation. The officer in charge of SSS at Tinkan Island Port, James Udo, explained the danger such importation could have on members of the public if it had escaped customs attention. Mr. Udo said security must be a collective responsibility. He said the SSS would conduct further investigation on the importation to unravel those behind it. Nigerian former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Diezani AlisonMadueke, has strongly denied media reports linking her to unholy relationships with some young men while in office. She noted that she is happily married like most of the men are, asserting that she is not the scarlet lady people paint her to be. Mrs. Madueke made this known in London while responding to questions from the CEO of Ovation magazine, Mr. Dele Momodu. She sees those rumors as insults on accomplished women who cannot be seen in sensitive positions without running rioters with some men. She noted that she met those men as former President Jonathan and herself fought to actively incorporate Nigerians in the oil and gas sector as the chairman of the Content Development and Monitoring Board. And meanwhile, on the foreign scene, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta says he will set up a new special prison for violent extremist offenders. The facility would prevent jihadists from spreading their extremist ideology to the rest of the society, he said. The country's anti-terror law allows security forces to detain people suspected of terrorist activities for a long period without charge. Kenya is battling homegrown militants linked to Islamist group Al-Shabaab, which is part of Al-Qaeda. In 2011, Kenyan troops entered neighboring Somalia in an effort to stop the jihadists from carrying cross-border attacks and kidnapping people. British officials have entered the final phase of negotiations to change the UK's relationship with the EU. The day before the European summit begins, David Cameron hopes to agree a deal at the Brussels summit, enabling a referendum on the UK's EU membership to take place as early as June. European Parliament President Martin Schulz have warned that MEPs' backing for any deal cannot be guaranteed. On Tuesday, Downing Street said the deal had the backing of MEPs. Number 10 said leaders of the three largest groups in the European Parliament had made clear their support for the UK's proposed EU deal. But Mr. Cameron's planned curbs to benefit for EU's migrants appear to be a sticking point in the talks with the EU, with some Eastern European countries reported to be opposed. And for more stories, please log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Like our Facebook page at African Free Press. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Don't forget to join in our discussions at African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Bridget Okudili. Do have a good day.